Venetia Williams, I'm sure, had other ideas, and she joins me now. Venetia, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How's Cloudy Glen this morning?
Absolutely fine, absolutely fine. Yeah, he's just gone out in the fields, which all the horses do every day. But yeah, he got down and had a roll, and very pleased with himself, as we are.
He's an interesting customer, isn't he, this horse? And you clearly really got to the bottom of him now. What's been the secret?
Age. Like
on his part, I presume.
Yes, not referring to anything, any horse or jockey or trainer, but probably that has helped. He's been a quirky horse. When he first came, I have to say that Hugh Nugent did an amazing job. He used to ride him the whole time. The horse used to bolt off in any unknown direction with no warning. And Hugh used to ride him on the gallops, and as soon as he'd pulled up at the top of the gallop, having finished his work, he'd get off. He had a lead rein strapped round his waist, and he'd lead him back. And it was the safest way to do it. And I have to say, we've only stopped doing that a year ago, at the ripe old age that he is now. You wouldn't know what he'd do, but I think we've got a mature horse now.
And in your head, did you always think, well, if I'm going to strike, I'm going to have to do it first time out off a break?
Not necessarily, but I put him in the race thinking that at least with his mark of 114, having been second in the Kimber, he would get in the race. And we gave him a wind operation. Not that it necessarily seemed an obvious thing to do. We weren't able to do the normal overground scope because he wouldn't let the vet anywhere near him with a scope. So it was just done hoping it might help. So he had the cautery. But, he was in very good form. He'd done some, really exciting work, which, other horses do and don't always go and win a Ladbrokes off it. But, I was very encouraged with what I'd seen and had a chat with Mick Meager, the late Mr. Hemmings, his racing manager, on the Wednesday actually, and he was happy for us to let him run and carry the second colours.
How much more special did it make it that you were doing this for Trevor's memory? Oh,
it's hard to put that into words, particularly as we'd all been up in Lancashire on Thursday for his memorial service, and a wonderful fitting tribute it was. But it was hugely well attended, as you can imagine. So of course, he was very fresh in everybody's minds, and to be there with Catherine Rivet and a large number of her family and his family to be there, with obviously Cloth Cap as well, having won the race before. No, you couldn't have written the script.
What was he like to train for?
Wonderful. I mean, you couldn't wish for a lovely, more understanding, more patient owner. Obviously, he was blessed of being in a position to have a number of horses in training, but a large number of them he bred, including this horse. And he understood how one had to be patient. He understood, how it all worked, and he was so much fun as well.
Venetia, if there was one race that he loved even more than this one, and he won this one several times with Many Clouds and Trabolgan and Cloth Cap and now your horse, it is, of course, the Grand National. Is that the next obvious staging post for Cloudy Glen?
I wouldn't say the next obvious, because, it's a long way off, and, hopefully we can have some action in between. But... yeah, we haven't discussed the next plan, but obviously it has to be considered. But it's a lot further down the road.
What sort of races have you got in your mind more immediately?
Again, we haven't discussed the next race at the moment. I'm just trying to stop the alarm on my phone going off further.
Well, before it does go off and tells you to get off the phone to me, I do want to ask you about Fanion d'Esterval. Small he might be, but boy, oh boy, he's got an engine, judged on what we saw at Newbury this weekend when he comprehensively outclassed his rivals. Is this a sign of even better to come, do you think, or did he just boss worse horses?
Well, he was highly tried last season after winning at Newbury as a novice in a handicap. a couple of years ago. He's run largely in graded races, and he's just sort of struggled to, to get his head in front. So it was always the idea to get him back into handicaps, I think it'll done his confidence a power of good to be able to do that, and hopefully we can go on from here.
He's quite a striking little horse, isn't he?
He is. He's tiny actually, but he's got a very low centre of gravity, and he's very wide behind. But there's quite an engine there.
That's Fanion d'Estrival. You've been in the thick of the action the last couple of weeks. How's Royal Pagaille after that little injury he picked up in the Betfair Chase when he ran so well?
Yeah, well, he's still got stitches in that hind joint. It's quite a nasty wound. He hasn't been able to do any exercise or training since, but I'm hoping that we might be able to get him out of his box quietly and start doing things this coming week.
Will he be ready in time to run somewhere at Christmas?
Well, obviously that was what we thought immediately after the race. Time will tell. We hope he will, but the next 10 days will be telling.
Venetia, thanks so much. Before you go, I just wanted a word on Charlie Deutsch. That was a very popular win yesterday amongst his weighing room peers. Jamie Moore, in particular, tweeted some lovely sentiments, particularly praising you for your unswerving loyalty to Charlie. I guess that was another layer of significance for you on top of what was already a very poignant victory. Well, it was hugely poignant, obviously, for the late Trevor. But Charlie's been my stable jockey for a number of years now, and hopefully will continue to be so. Yes, I wouldn't say it was sort of so poignant because, we're working together, day in, day out, every day. But it was lovely for all of the staff. It was. We had a fantastic evening last night in down at the local, and Charlie was very much the hero of the hour. Good to hear. Venetia, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Venetia Williams.